Welcome once again to the Indie Wrap. This time we're looking at swords and we're looking at... I'm not quite sure. First off, we have Nidhogg from developer Mark Essen. Nidhogg sees you engaging in a grand sword fight against an array of opponents. You kill one, another one takes his place, and vice versa. So your aim then is to run to the right of the screen, kill as many opponents as you can until you hit the end, upon which you get eaten by a giant snake, because Nidhogg. The controls here are rather simple. You can hold out your foil in a low, medium or high stance to get around your opponent's blade. You can also jump, dive, kick, roll, and even throw your sword at your opponent. Sure, the controls are simple, but it means that more people can get into it, and that isn't to say there isn't any depth here. Because it's so simple, you still have this opportunity to engage in a range of aggressive or defensive strategies on the fly, and it's this simultaneous simplicity and depth that allows for some really exciting matches. It just takes one well-placed lunge to get the advantage, and you often have these minutes-long bouts where you're just trading lives before that one person just manages to sneak through and reach the end before they get a blade to the back of the head and the whole thing begins again. Now, Nidhogg absolutely shines in local multiplayer. The drama is enhanced by the fact that you can see your opponent. The only issues that I have against Nidhogg is that it doesn't quite have the all-night legs that say a Street Fighter or a Smash Brothers does, and there are only 4 maps here, so every match sort of visually blurs into one another. But Nidhogg is still an example that I can hold out as another argument for the qualities that you can only get from local multiplayer.
My heart is broken.
Up next, we have Jazzpunk from Necrophone Games. I'm not quite sure how to describe Jazzpunk. Maybe we can describe it as a sketch comedy barely disguised as an adventure game, because sure, you do have puzzles, and sure, you can rub things against other things to solve these puzzles, and there's even a thread of a narrative, but you're not coming to Jazzpunk to be enthralled or engaged with the gameplay on any level, no. You're coming to Jazzpunk for the fever dream comedy, and this can either be Jazzpunk's success or its failure. Depends ultimately on what you think about absurdist comedy. Sure, there are plenty of dumb jokes here and lots of slapstick, but these are just sandwiched by these bizarre moments like this one sequence where you're just dropped into a zombie survival horror, which turns into a Shining parody, except everything is made out of pizza. There is no logic or reason to Jazzpunk's comedy, and I kind of love it because of it. It's not afraid to commit to its goofs. They built out a rudimentary arena shooter, except you shoot out wedding cake and champagne, and this is all just to have a dumb wedding quake pun. You have to admire that. Having said that though, Jazzpunk isn't as consistently funny as I was hoping it to be. Maybe it was because I had a headache the entire time I was playing it. If you get nausea from playing first-person titles, then Jazzpunk will flare that up very quickly. But I grinned through the pain, and I really liked Jazzpunk just for being so strange.
I don't have the mental time for that.
That does it for another edition of the Indie Wrap. Tune in next time when I play something less... You know what, I'm not going to even try to promise anything less weird.